All right. What is up, guys? Happy Tuesday. I hope you're all doing great. I see a lot of familiar faces, some new faces. That is awesome. Again, my name is Zoelle. I'm Treat's office manager for his bounce house business. I also work here at Event Talk. And we're going to be talking about how to stay track with your 2025 goals or how to keep yourself and your business and your employees on track to hit your 2025 goals. And then at 8 p.m. Central, Tariq is going to be hopping on to talk about Facebook ads. So, first and foremost, like I said, I want to open it up to you guys. What do you guys actively do within your business, whether it's yourself, whether it's with your business partner, your employees, your delivery crew, your office manager, whatever it may be? What do you guys do currently to make sure you guys are on track to hit whatever goals you have, whether it's a review goal, maybe you're trying to get 200 reviews by the end of the year, maybe you're trying to hit 100K this year, whatever that goal may be, what are you actively doing to stay on top of your goals? And if you've never done a live stream with me, just know I will let the silence kill us all right? So y'all better start y'all better start speaking up, or I'll start calling on you.
More yard signs.
More yard signs. How does that help you stay on track to hit your goals? What are your goals for your business?
Make it more than last year.
Making more than last year. I love it. Do you set like specific goals for yourself every year?
Yeah, it's different all the time. Mainly marketing. Just trying my best to do as much marketing and try different marketing ideas every year.
Absolutely. So
Mhm.
you would say yard signs this year is like your
Yeah.
main new marketing tactic that you're trying?
Right. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, got you. So for your yard signs, can I ask, because we actually Tariq's done yard signs in the past before, but last year we did it a little bit differently. So I'm curious, how do you guys format your yard signs? Like, is it just your business and logo and like your website on there? How do you guys have that laid out?
I got logo, website, phone number, and QR code.
Okay, okay, got you. That's kind of similar to what we did. I think we did a double-sided last year. One side just had like we put some kind of like goofy picture on there because we wanted it to grab attention from the kids and the adults. So we did some kind of like goofy dog or something like that on there. So on one side, it was similar where we had like our info on there. We had a QR code that said leave us a review, just all of our good info. But then on the opposite side, we actually put all of our house for inflatable like rules, like the no shoes, no sharp objects, so on and so forth. So it's pretty similar. Do you feel like you're seeing results so far?
I'd say I kind of just started um late May, so I can't really tell yet. But it's just
Or
something I wanted to try this year.
yeah, it is a little early. One thing you could try too, if you ever think about switching your yard signs, you should, if you're not already, should get a QR code where you can actually track or a coupon code that's specific to those yard signs. That way you can actually track how well that's working for you. That way you're not just kind of guessing.
Gotcha.
I love
Okay.
it. Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Mike. And then anyone else, what are you doing to make sure your business is staying on track? Again, it could be a review goal, it could be your sales goals, it could be
Massive flyers every day.
yeah, I see you've been doing that, Ray. How has that been going for you?
I think it's been going really good. I've been getting a lot of a lot more booking because people get annoyed with them. So that's what I just want. There's a lot of people just getting really annoyed and pissed off, and then they just end up booking because they see so many of the flyers. I'm probably sending out 2 to 3 flyers a day, and I just
Two to
use
three a day?
yeah. I send one
That's
out in the
crazy.
morning, and then I send one out around lunch, and then I send one out around bedtime. But sometimes I do.
Wow.
Sometimes I do a literature one too about the weather. I'll do a news story. Um, so I just do a bunch of different things in case somebody wants to read something at nighttime. So
Okay.
yeah,
And how are you tracking the success of these flyers?
just from like my sales from like past years when I maybe haven't been as busy, and I just noticed that business has drummed up and picked up. That's just how I've been keeping track of and plus I've been booking shit like tomorrow I've got a singing telegram. I've got some events on Friday. I've got some on Saturday. So I mean, I've been having some just like events that I normally don't have. So it works
Okay.
out. And like people just
Okay.
book stuff too, which is kind of very weird. And like I feel like sometimes they're just booking and they don't even know what they're booking. It's so weird. I start having this issue. They're like, oh, what do we book? I'm like, what do you mean you book? There's pictures, there's everything right on the site. It's weird
That's
sometimes.
that's
So
interesting. So you say overall though, you're just kind of comparing your growth this time, but last year, like you're kind of seeing that growth throughout your months.
yeah, because when I originally started, like we were just always busy. And a lot of times people just don't know if I'm still around, or I just offer such a wide variety of services because I just work for myself full time. So I do a wide variety of different things.
Right.
So people are, I think people just get kind of confused as to what I offer or what I'm doing sometimes, or don't know, what's going on. So that's why I try to keep a little bit more in the loop. I like doing the entertainment stuff. So I've
Okay.
been just, and I promote like one thing at a time. I try not to promote 20 things. So a pirate bounce house, I might have a whole write up about it. If it's a water slide, if it's going to be a nice day out that Saturday, if it's got a basketball hoop, if it's got a climb, if it's got a slide, the details on the outside of it, what age it's great
Okay.
for, like it needs an extension cord. People around me are still freaking clueless. Like it has to be blown up the whole time, you know. So there's like a whole entire like audience you still have to reach that don't understand the whole entire industry on what you have to be able to do. So you need to educate those people too. And so that's where the education part comes in on your end, is be able to educate your consumers on what they're going to be purchasing and what could be expected. And I just try to put out all that stuff when I'm sending out email blitz. It's just not always flyers. It's a wide variety of different things. And I've always,
Okay.
since I've been sending out flyers, I've never sent out the same thing. It's always something new every time. So when they click on it, the title says something totally different. Like I said, it could be sunny. It could be, this bounce house it comes down with tarps. It needs a hose. It needs power. It needs an extension cord. It needs stakes. Your lawn's going to be destroyed if you're getting a water slide sometimes. I just
Mhm.
go over like everything in emails, and I don't know, like it's just not about doing flyers. I feel like having more of a outreach with the customers.
Yeah, absolutely. So as far as like you said, you've noticed more of an increase by doing these flyers. So do people like, I guess what I'm trying to ask is how are people booking from that email flyer? Are you including like a link in there that they can just click
I
and go
usually
book, or
include
are they
like the
just call
QR
in?
code, a phone number. They can text me, they can email me, they can call. I
Okay.
usually put on there they can get hold of me anytime. So
Okay.
and plus I just turned up my Google campaigns a little bit too. So that's all I'm really doing. Oh, and the Event Hawk message board, I met, or that thing automatically messages or something. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
however that works through there, and that seems like it helps out too, because like I'll just pop that on once in a while. I totally forget when I'm like doing carpet cleaning or power washing or whatever I might be doing, concrete, whatever. But I'll just pop that on. I'm like, oh snaps! Oh yeah, this system was already talking to this person, and I'll just kind of get in there and been able to close the deal a little bit better. But it's kind of funny because
Sure.
they actually think they're talking to somebody when they're like doing that. So it works
Yep.
out pretty decent.
I,
So
I see the same thing on my end too. A lot of people respond to the automations as if it's like an actual person. They'll be like, "Oh my God, hey Eliza, thanks for the quick response." I'm like, "Hey, that was an automation." So it's
it's
it's nice that those automations are like almost disguised in a way a lot of people don't recognize it. But the reason why I asked you that, just to maybe give you an idea if it's something you're not doing already, what you could be including in your flyers, which is something I do for our mass text and emails, is creating a trigger link. That way you can actually track and see how many people are actually clicking on your link. And then from there, you should be able to see, okay, out of the people that clicked on these links, who actually booked an event. So maybe you can start doing
to be
something
honest
like
with you, as
that.
long as I'm busy at this point, I don't care like
Fair
how they
enough.
really found me. Like, I mean, I just feel like what I'm doing kind of working. So I'm not
Sure.
like trying to dive into too craziness right now.
That's
The,
valid.
yeah, yeah. So the kids are out of school. So like we have a very short season here. As soon as the kids get out of school, that definitely picks up, but it picks up a lot more that I do the Google ads and I do the ads. I never used to do any of that stuff before. And I never used to do it as much as I do it now, anywhere from
Okay.
2 to 3 times a day. So, but the ideal is when they open up that email, though, they see nothing but all your emails in there.
Yep.
And hopefully, it's just about repetitive of them. hopefully they'll, end up booking something. And I feel like people have, I get like
Yeah,
probably maybe one customer every 3 weeks or so. They're like, hey, stop sending me emails. But besides that, it's not really too bad. But I mean, a lot of people do say, hey, I've been getting all your emails, but no coupons. I don't do any coupons. I tell them, you want a coupon, go online. I've just raised all my prices. And the other thing too that I do now is my extension cords. I charge $15 per extension cord, sandbags, and I charge $15 for every sandbag you want. So for like my 10
dang.
by 18 tents, just I'm a rental company, and a lot of people say, "Oh no, we shouldn't charge for that." But I mean, we're a rental company. We rent shit out. That's what we do. So we just need to be able to charge for everything that you do. I mean, it costs you
Sure.
money for extension cords. Extension cords aren't cheap anymore for a good long. I got glow plugs or whatever, and they're pretty expensive. They're like anywhere from 80 to $100 a piece for 50 footers or 100, whatever big they are. So I'm
Okay.
just making sure that I'm renting everything through inflatable office this year. So when they go to the bounce house page, they can see those sandbags. And then I'm like, oh, well, if it's not going to be set up on pavement, we need to do some sandbags. So I know some people
Sure.
are against doing sandbags, but I've never had an issue with a bounce house blowing away. So, I usually double up on them. So when I'm doing those, and when they do a tent, the 10 by 18 tents, we'll double up on those too. So, and
Okay.
they work out pretty good. But I say just charge for everything. Anything that you can charge for, it's amazing. People just click on shit anyways on the inflatable office site. I feel like they don't even know what they're clicking on or they're paying for sometimes, because I just took off event staff on there on mine, and a lot of people are
Hmm.
just booking that. They didn't even know about that, and I just took it off because it was just getting too confusing for people. But I mean, it's amazing on like sometimes what people just book and have no idea what they're booking. I'm
That
like,
is true.
you booked on my site. What do you mean you don't know? But I mean, it works.
Yeah,
So
right.
I highly recommend, you know, uh, renting everything out that you have. So, too, that hey, you rented my extension cord. It's on the, invoice. It shows, because there'd be times in the future or back when I used to just give them an extension cord and they'd be like, oh no, you didn't have it. So, and that was when I had like cheaper extension cords that would fry or
Mhm.
whatever. But now I've got all pretty decent equipment, nice stuff, better tents and everything too. So I've been
Sure.
buying like a lot more expensive stuff, I guess you could say, instead of cheaper stuff. So
Mhm.
you look at it that way too. You want to be able to, make your money back. Oh, and I've upped my prices. So anybody that says, you can't really up your price, I got like a 15 water slide. That's almost getting up to about over $400 for a rental. It's a dolphin water slide. So I've been definitely graduating up my prices anywhere from $20 to $30 already, and people are still grabbing hold of stuff and renting things out, which is pretty nice. So don't be afraid to raise those prices.
Absolutely. I do want to piggyback off that a little bit though. I think if you can get away with it, go for it, but I do not recommend nickel and diming if you're a small business, because you can't always get away with that. We currently I think charge like $5 per sandbag. I don't think we charge for extension cords, but I know like Stacy Chase, for example, she'll charge per stair that her crew has to go up if they need to deliver something inside and go up and downstairs. So it really does depend though. Like you do have to be somewhat of an established business to be able to get away with nickel and diming little things. Again, if you can do it, by all means. But if you're a small business, I don't recommend that, because you still have so much room to grow and scale. And when you're
Yeah, I
that
used to do
small
it
and you
way
don't
back
have
in the
as
day
much of a
too.
reputation,
Yeah.
what was that, Ray?
I said I used to do it way back in the day. I worked with another booking software back in the day, and I feel like if you're just going to show up with extension cord, that's one thing. But if they're on a website, I think it really does make a difference where they could just go on and order. But if you're just like, hey, I have an extension cord, all right, you got the bounce house, yeah, all right, we'll just plug it in. But now that they could see it and they could book it, I think that's totally two different things. So you got to look at it that way too. They're just online, they're just browsing, they're just looking, they're just paying for things. But when you show up to a customer's house and you're like, oh yeah, I have the extension cord, then that's like different, because you're just giving away stuff at that point. So there's two different ways of looking at it. I think you could
Sure.
do more sales once it's on the site. They could just go through and purchase it. They don't think about it because they're like, oh yeah, we need that, we need this, we need that for
Hmm.
even like tarps. I'm gonna be putting on the onto the thing if they want to do tarps or not tarps. So I mean, tarps are
Interesting.
expensive. In my like for a big water side, they're not cheap. I think they're a couple $100 or something. I get them through ABC Rental, and
Right.
you're putting holes in them, they get destroyed. So I don't know.
Hmm.
But yeah,
That's
I mean,
fair.
yeah, I guess it all
Well,
just
thank
depends
you,
on how
Ray.
you go about doing it. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Zoelle, I know he said he didn't really care about the links, but I think the rest of us are kind of curious about how that tracking link works. Can you expound on that?
Can you say that one more time?
I said the rest of us are probably interested in how that tracking link works. Can you expound on that?
Oh, the trigger link?
Yeah.
Yeah, so only know how to build them through Event Hawk. But you can essentially plug in a link. So for example, if I'm sending a mass text for, let's say I'm doing a Father's Day promo and it's only on my water slides, I can essentially take my link that will direct my customers to the water slide category. And I have a hard time explaining without showing you guys, but I can essentially put it into Event Hawk when you go to create a trigger link, plug that link in, and then from there, it'll literally create a trigger link. So then when you're creating your text or your emails, there's a little lightning bolt button on your like text or email blast that you're creating. Again, within Event Hawk, it'll say insert trigger link. So once you've created it, it should pop up there. So, and you'll notice that link looks a little bit different when you actually input that into the text or the email. But then if you go ahead and do like a test email to yourself or, you know, your business partner, whatever, the link comes through and it looks normal. But you're going to be able to track and see how many times someone clicked on that link. And you would, I'm trying to remember, give me 1 second. Let me pull up my Event Hawk so I can actually see what that looks like on my end.
So is the trigger link what you're using as advertising? That's what the customers would click on.
Yeah, so it's essentially the customer would click on it just to be able to get to that category or whatever it is. I can show you guys an example of like some text that I sent out. Let me pull that up and then I'll share my screen with y'all.
Let me share something with everybody real quick. With
Sure.
Event Hawk, just so everybody knows, if you join up with them, I used to have to pay MailChimp, whatever it was, like 100. You pay for every time you get new emails or something, like a certain kind of tier of emails. The good thing about signing up with Event Hawk, if anybody's thinking about it, and if they work with MailChimp, once you start hitting a certain max of emails through MailChimp, they charge you per like those emails every time you're sending out emails. So with Event Hawk, there's no charge for sending out emails. So that's kind of the cool thing about Event Hawk, if anybody's interested in using their platform or anything.
Thank you for that, Ray.
Yeah. So I do like that. They put the Event Hawk does charge for sending out text messages. So,
Yes.
but I
Give me
don't
1
think it's
second.
not exactly Event Hawk. It's somebody else, right? It's a different.
Yeah, it's not like us necessarily. So if you get your phone number registered and all that, it's with the FCC, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
1 sec. It's actually gonna let me share now. There we go. All right, you don't need that. All right, can you guys see my screen okay?
Yeah, I could see.
Beautiful. All right, so this is an example of a graduation text that I sent back in April. So right here, it says contact city parents. So it would literally fill in whatever city they're from. So Orland Park parents, $40 off graduation rentals. Spots are filling up for graduation weekend. Book your tent, tables, chairs now. Get 40 off before it's too late. Limited availability now. Reserve today. Blah, blah, blah. So essentially, when they receive this, it's going to look like a normal link. And so a lot of people are going to click on it because they're interested. Like, okay, what is this? Well, for us, it's actually going to direct them to my computer would work with me. And it won't. Come on. I just got a new computer, guys, so bear with me. It should direct them to this page. It'll direct them to this. So this is like our Father's Day sale right now. So me and my assistant, we swap out these banners every time we have a new promo. So in this example, they would get landed to this page. And what we have set up is, where did it go? So when they receive this text, after they click on this link, we basically have another workflow that's set up to send them another message. So 3 minutes after they click that link, we have it set up so that way it'll send them a text saying, hey, I saw you were interested in our current promo. What date is your event? So I can double check availability. So you can get like that extreme with it. You don't need to. I mean, really, if you're just looking to track to see how many people clicked your link, you can literally just put the trigger link in there, but you can get kind of crazy with it. It's kind of, I don't know. I didn't like it, like creating this stuff at first, but then I don't know. I kind of enjoy it. It's interesting to be able to see all those numbers and to track to see where people are coming from, how many people clicked on this link, and again, being able to set up an automation from that. So I know it's kind of confusing. Maybe I'll make a video one day. I mean, it's super simple to actually create the trigger link. But maybe I'll make a video one day and share that with you guys on the Bounce House Bosses group.
So follow-up question to that, when your KPIs are low in a certain area, do you focus more on raising those, or do you focus more on what's doing well?
Say that one more time. You're sounding a little muffled on my end.
Hang on one second. All right, let's try that now. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, it sounds a little more clear.
Okay. When you're looking at your KPIs and your numbers are low in one area and high in another, do you focus on focus on what's low and bringing that up, or do you focus on what's working and just really hit that hard?
I think we tend to focus more on what's low and try to bring that up. I mean, we do still obviously care about what's working and we want to do more of that, but our attention gets grabbed to what's low, what's not working right. So that's a really good question. With that, y'all, we're about halfway through the roundtable today, so I do want to start getting into kind of what we do here at Bounce House, unless any of you guys want to share what you do on your side of things to make sure you're staying on track with 2025. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and dive in and tell you a little bit about what we do for those of you who don't know. Takers? Sick. All right, so if you were here last year, you've probably heard Tariq and I talk about this a little bit more. There's a software I'm going to be talking about called 90. What I do want to say is that we have been using this for a while, but we're actually considering something new. We're working on something new. So I'm not going to be showing that new thing off today. However, if you're someone who would like to potentially get on a wait list for something similar as to what I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to go ahead and drop a link at the end of this roundtable. And then if you're watching the recording or if you're on Facebook Live, just comment 90 and we'll go ahead and send you the waitlist link as well. So again, currently I'm going to talk about the software 90. So let me get my screen shared with you guys if it won't give me any trouble here. Okay, let's see. So I'm not going to be able to share everything with you guys. There's going to be some things I'll show you, some things I won't. But I kind of want to at least give you, like I said, a little demonstration of what this looks like. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Beautiful. So this is 90. I do have an account with Bounce My House, and I also have one with Event Hawk. It does cost some money. I can't remember exactly how much it costs monthly, but in my mind, it's worth it. But like I said, if you want something similar, we're testing out something, and you can get on a wait list to test that new software out. So this is, I mean, it's really everything to me. This is what keeps me on track as an office manager. If I didn't have this, and I've said it a million times before, you already know, my whole desk, my everything would be covered in sticky notes, because as the office manager, I'm not just, taking calls and making sales, and, I wear a lot of hats. So there's a lot of things I need to be able to remember. There's a lot of projects, there's a lot of tasks, there's a lot of issues, there's a lot of whatever. And this is one centralized location where I can kind of keep it all. And this helps me stay on track. It helps the entire company stay on track immensely. If I didn't have this, I don't even know where we'd be, to be honest with you guys. So this is kind of like my dashboard. I can see team to-dos, I can see private to-dos, I can see rocks and milestones. And I'm gonna butcher this and Tariq's gonna laugh at me later, but from my understanding, the way that like to-dos, rocks, kind of work together is that a rock should be like this one big project, right? But if you're looking at this one big project as a whole, that's overwhelming. That's a lot. Like you already know there's so many different little pieces that go into making this project or this rock happen. So you essentially can break that rock into milestones, or you can kind of create a to-do. I kind of use like milestone and to-dos interchangeably. But a rock ideally should take you about 90 days. To-dos should take you about a week. Should. We use that very loosely. You can see I have late things here. There are super late things down here. So it's not like it's super strict, but it's a way to at least keep me on track and go, okay, you know what? I should get the number for Lino design by June 16th. It at least gives me an idea and at least keeps me on track. So this is one of the many things that I do. So it could be throughout the week, there's an issue that happens. My first thing is I don't go write it on a sticky note. I go straight to 90 and I create a to-do. So I'll go in here, I'll click create. I will title it, I don't know, pick up steaks or not. It's not going to let me type. There we go. Pick up steaks from customer. I can put a description in there. I can create a priority. Oh, this is an issue. My bad. Let me back up. From there, you go ahead and give it a title. You can put a description. So for example, if there was like a link I needed to drop, or if I needed more details, I'm going to throw that in there. It's going to automatically set your due date for a week from there. And then from there, you can assign it to a team. You can make it a private to do. So if it's something more personal that you need to get done in your personal life, you can add that there, so on and so forth. And then you create the to do. And same thing for any issues, announcements, rocks, so on and so forth. So this is, again, just kind of my way of keeping myself on track, and then same with like my assistant, Tariq, things like that. So that's kind of the start of it for me, but really where this comes into play is our weekly meetings and our KPIs. So every single week we go into data and we actually insert our KPIs. I'm going to show you guys just a demo. I can't unfortunately show all of our numbers here, and I didn't have enough time to grab a proper screenshot here. So this is kind of how it's going to look if this loads properly. You can essentially put any KPIs into your 90 software that you want. I don't know if they have a limitation because we have a ton at Balance My House. There's a ton of different things we track. We track our Google reviews. We track our website visitors. We track our event hawk event hawk conversion rates. We track our IO conversion rates. We track the website conversion rate, sales tax. We track my sales, my assistant's sales, boss's sales, everyone's sales. So there's a bunch of different kinds of KPIs you can put in here. But this is kind of the easiest way for us to make sure we are staying on track. So every single Monday we have a meeting at it's like 1 p.m. or 1:30 p.m. Every Monday. And me, Tariq, my assistant, and sometimes Jamila will all meet together. And we go through everything. It's about an hour, but honestly, we all get kind of off track sometimes, and we can be there for an hour and a half. But really, the goal is to go through everything. So the first thing that we do, if I were to start a meeting right now, I would go to meetings. I could select if I'm going to do a weekly meeting, quarterly, annual. I could do a weekly one-on-one. There's all different kinds of meetings you can have, but we typically run a weekly meeting every Monday. And so the way we do ours is that within the first 5 minutes, and it is timed, by the way, so that way you guys can stay on track with that meeting as well. But within the first 5 minutes, we each go around and we start with a positive note, share one professional and one personal best from the past week. So we all go around, we kind of, break the ice in a way, because we already know we're going to spend the rest of the hour just talking about numbers, talking about issues, talking about projects. So we open it up on a lighthearted note. We start talking about our wins. After that, we go into our data. So that's when I usually am the one who's hosting the meeting. So I will go number by number and break every single thing down. If we see essentially what will happen in that 90 software where it shows you the data, if you can set certain goals. So if my goal is to get, let's say 10 reviews every single week, if we don't hit that goal, it's going to highlight that KPI red. So we can immediately get our attention drawn to the KPIs that are not where they should be, or where we're not hitting those goals. And so I don't just run through these numbers and then we move on to the next thing. I mean, unless everything's looking great and we really don't have anything to talk about, which is never the case, then we'll move on. But really, we spend a good amount of time just kind of talking about different metrics. So, for example, the one big thing that we really focus on almost every single week is our growth from last year. We are, I think, over double our numbers from last year. And so that's something that we look at all the time just because we're like, this is crazy. Like we just weren't expecting to be doing this right. And really hats off to my assistant Paulina because she just helps immensely. I've said it a million times the past few live streams. Um, but anyways, that's kind of what we'll go into next. We'll talk more about the data. And that's really where we're making sure we're all staying on track. If we see something that's not right, like let's say we had 30 completed events from last week, but we only got 3 reviews. That's when we go, okay, so what are we missing? Did our review requests not go out? Did our delivery crew bring their business cards and write their names on them? You know, we start going through all the, okay, was this done? Was this done? Was that done? And you just start going through those check marks of, okay, like Lane kind of brought up earlier, like where are we falling short? What needs to be improved? Or what was different last week that we're not seeing or that we're not hitting that goal? So, for example, I think we had one week where we did really, really well with sales. I think we got like, I don't know if I had to guess, maybe 28 sales for the week. I mean, it was our biggest number, our
Holy shit.
biggest week so far. And so we saw that and we went, wow, like that's awesome. But then the week after that, we dropped down to like 14. And we're like, what? Like we've been killing it and our numbers had only been going up. So to go from like 28 to 14, I was like, what happened? So that's when we had to start just looking at different things and looking at like our website visitors. We had to start looking at conversion rates. We're looking at did we send out a text blast? Did we send out an email blast? And really what it came down to be, we couldn't find something that was or like a number or a process that we were doing differently that week. Really it just ended up falling onto weather. I mean, you guys know if it's rainy, if it's crappy out, you have way less people hitting you up. When it's nice out and it's beautiful, that's when people are getting excited. They're ready to rent. And I know a lot of you have been experiencing semi-similar weather where it's been just raining like crazy. And it was definitely one of those weeks. So sometimes there's not always a rhyme or reason other than, well, it was crappy out. Why we didn't get as many sales. And then after that, we skyrocketed back up. So that's kind of where we spend a majority of our time within that 90 meeting or within that hour meeting. Once we get through talking about all of our data, and again, guys, we have a ton of KPIs in there. Once we get through talking about all of that, then we start moving on to our rocks, to-dos, and issues. 90 says you're supposed to spend a majority of your time on issues, which is probably correct, but we spend so much time on data, it's crazy. So once we get through data, we start talking about our to-dos, our big projects. And the cool thing about like rocks, for example, let me go ahead and go back to screen sharing, is we can essentially, let me minimize that. The way that we do it within our meeting is we'll each go through our rocks and we'll say whether we're on track, off track, or if it needs to be canceled or if it's complete. So essentially Paulina will hop on and she'll say, posting social media, that's on track, looking into Hilti trackers, that's on track, so on and so forth. So we're just kind of staying on top of each other and holding each other accountable. For like, you can see I have 2 canceled, 1 complete, 1 off track. So like I'm on top of it. Like I love this software so much. And so I'm super excited for what we're kind of working on, what you guys may be getting on a wait list for. So I think it can only go up from here. But so we'll kind of look through these projects and then we'll go through our individual to-dos. And again, kind of same thing, whether we're on track, off track, if something happened, like, you know what, I was going to order these 2 items. However, this happened. So Tariq, I actually kind of need you to help me with this. And then I can go ahead and reassign the rock or the to-do or whatever it may be to him because I need him to help me. So that's kind of the nice thing about that too. But then issues. This is again where we're supposed to spend a majority of our time. And these are issues all the way from I had a glitch in IO to my delivery crew. This is their 2nd week in a row for getting chairs for a delivery. To my assistant using the wrong template for the third time, whatever it may be, any little issue that has to do with the company that is impacting something to some degree, it's going in there and we're discussing it. Doesn't always mean that, that issue is fully resolved, but we're at least talking about it. We're at least working on further steps to make sure that issue doesn't happen again. And then from there, we each kind of rate the meeting, and we always try to rate it as honestly as possible. So out of a score of 10, how useful or how productive was this meeting? Was it a meeting that we just flew through and really didn't get anything out of? Was it a meeting that we felt like we were really productive and we were able to knock a bunch of things off? Like, it's important that we're honest about that rating. Like, for example, I think it was yesterday. Yesterday was like our first time from the beginning of the season that we actually ended pretty much on time. We ended on that 1 hour, and I was like, you know what? We knocked a lot of stuff off within that 1 hour. And so I couldn't be more happy with that. But that's essentially how we kind of stay on track. And truthfully, I mean, you guys have heard me say it like 3 times already. I don't even know how I would still have a head on my shoulders if I didn't have something like this to keep us accountable. There are just, I mean, you guys know, there's just so many moving parts within running a business. And this is the one thing that can kind of help you keep yourself organized, keep your team organized. Because I mean, think about the amount of things that just fall off your plate, or the amount of issues or projects or just mini tasks that you tell yourself, oh, we need to get this done, we need to get this done, we need to get that done. You might be able to write it on a whiteboard, but being able to really just have this right in front of you and stay on top of each other and your team every single week, you're going to notice you guys kind of get a little more excited. And having those goals set within your KPIs, at least me, like, I look forward to that. If I don't see that we're hitting a goal, I really am intrigued as to why did we not get 10 reviews this week, or why did we only have 10 sales this week? It starts to really get your brain going a little bit more, because I mean, we're all looking to grow as much as possible every single year. We always want to do better than last year. So this really helps me stay on track. And also, one thing too, y'all know, if you've spoken with Tariq, or you've tried to set up a meeting with Tariq or anything, he's a busy freaking guy. People think that because we work in the same office, I have unlimited access to be able to ask Tariq everything. I don't. That man is in meetings all freaking day. And so this is my one dedicated hour with him every single week to be able to knock out all my questions, to knock out any issues, whatever. Now, mind you, he's there. If it's something emergency, he'll answer me. But, I have these lists of questions and, ideas or whatever. And like, this is my one dedicated hour to be able to dump all that out, kind of get reorganized for the week, load my plate back up with more little, projects and to-dos and things like that. But I really can't recommend it enough. Even if you don't get a software necessarily, at least having a weekly meeting with your team, whether it's just your business owner, whether it's your delivery crew, you gotta have some kind of meeting point. You're trying to say something, Michael? I think you're muted. No? All right.
No.
All right. Well, with that being said, I mean, we still got about 15 minutes here, guys. I want to kind of open the floor back to y'all. Do you guys have any questions kind of about how we run these meetings, or I guess maybe more in-depth questions about what kinds of KPIs we have, anything along those lines?
Unfortunately, I don't. I'm a one-man show.
That's fair. That's valid. See, and the other thing I was going to mention to you, Ray, I know you said like you don't necessarily care to track like the, I don't know, let's say it's the trigger link. But wouldn't you want to know, like, what if it wasn't working? And what if you're spending all this time and money into creating all these flyers, but they're really not working?
The flyers
Maybe
don't
it's
really
something
cost
else
me
that's
anything. It's
working.
like $20 a month, and I can always end up using the flyers for something else in the future. So the flyers that AI is creating me for $20 a month are actually pretty nice, because I was spending a lot more money, I'll tell you, on that before. So I mean, they create me 2 to 3 flyers a day, and I use them for Craigslist, I use them for TikTok, I use them for Instagram, I use them for Facebook. So every day when I post a new flyer, I post them on all 3 new social medias as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just repetitive. They're going to see them in their email. Hopefully, they might see them in Facebook. Maybe they'll see them on TikTok. Maybe they'll see them on Instagram. Maybe they'll see them on LinkedIn. So,
Sure.
every time I make new flyers, I make sure I post on all 3 platforms or all 4 platforms, which is Craigslist too. So, I pretty
That's
much
fair.
dominate Craigslist in my area. So, underneath event, you could put ads in events and small business, and hopefully we'll get some business from that as well. So, but it's like $5 now that they charge. It used to be free in my area, but it's not anymore. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So,
Ray, super quick. I had someone ask, what happens? So as far as you charging for extension cords, what happens if they do not pay for the extension cord and they provide one of the orange cords or the other low quality ones? Like, do you still let them use
I don't know.
that or?
I don't let them hook up to my blowers with my, because I've already ran into the issue before where it actually fried their things. The blowers are all commercial blowers, so if they got some shitty cord there, it could, like, if it's on a hot day, because they have like a 15 gauge extension cord, so you got to be really careful with that, because you could fry their extension cord and mess up their cord, and then you're out buying them a new cord. So yeah, I don't let them. I don't let them use extension cord, and I don't offer pickup. I used to get an offering pickup before, and I don't do that anymore. Now I just do drop offs. I don't
Okay.
have time to pick up, like last year we had time to sit around at the warehouse and wait for people to show up. Now we just
Or
well, that was just me. So yeah, before I would just sit around, but now we just well, me once again, I just go drop off stuff. So yeah, but
okay.
yeah, be careful, because you should at least have like a 15 gauge extension cord, and you can't have anything else on that same outlet. Usually around me, usually the only thing you can have on there is a blower, because I have a lot of
Mhm.
older homes around me, and some of them still have the fuses in the panel boxes, which is crazy. It's not even a breaker. So
Okay. Interesting. Well, that makes sense. So you pretty much just make sure everyone, I mean, you pretty much upcharge everyone then for the extension cords, yeah?
well, I just started to actually do it. I just added extension cords to the bounce house category so that they could see that, and that's what I'm kind of hoping. I want to see how that kind of takes place. There was years ago that I used to do it, and I never had a problem with people doing it. People just go on and rent the extension cords.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
and if they
Interesting.
don't, I always have extension cords anyways in my truck. But it'd be nice just to make an extra whatever that is out through the day, and it'd be nice just to know that they rented it. Now that I'm spending actually money on cords, I never spent like $80 to $100 on extension cords. So now that I'm spending that much money on cords, I would like to know that, hey, you did have a cord. It's on your sheet or whatever. On IO shows everything that they're getting, which is nice. It shows
That's
the
true.
pictures of what you have. So there's no question about if they got a cord or not. So
Yep. That's fair. That's awesome. Well,
yeah,
hey, more power to you, man.
yeah. I just get kind of lost. When I originally started the company, I actually lost the bounce house because I didn't have like like a commercial thing where I could like track things or see where things were at or whatever. And I would just
Mhm.
have out so much equipment, and I actually lost the bounce house because I forgot where our address I put it to. So that was
Oh
horrible. So
no.
yeah. So that's why I like having the inflatable office now. I don't even take any cash anymore. Inflatable office is 100%. Easy. Hey, you want to go on there? If it's available, they'll let you run it. If not, that means it's not available. So I just
Yep.
love the whole entire platform for that whole
I
reason.
agree.
So yeah.
I agree. It just helps you keep track a little bit more. And
Oh,
that's the other
definitely.
thing I didn't mention earlier when talking about KPIs. A lot of my KPIs I get from Inflatable Office. Like if you go to their dashboard, you can go to sales, you can go to stats, and there's all different kinds of statistics that you can grab from there. You can see your percent of repeat customers from last year to this year. You can see your percent of repeat customers over your,
Next year,
I
I'll
mean,
probably start doing more of that
entire
stuff.
thing. Yeah, you
What?
should, man. I mean, it's good to just kind of know your numbers and know, okay, I'm falling short in this category, but I'm doing phenomenal in this category, and really start to fine tune some things. Like, do you absolutely have to do that right now? No, but if you're, looking to really, really grow, paying attention to those numbers is super key. So definitely recommend. And again, Inflatable Office, go to dashboard, you can go to sales, and you can go to stats. You can create different kinds of charts in there. You can create pie charts, you can create
This is a
graphs.
program you're going to be renting. You're renting out or something.
No. I was talking, that was an Inflatable Office that I was just talking about.
No, the other program that you were showing a little bit earlier.
Yes,
That'll
thank
be
you for bringing that up. So it's something we are kind of working on. Something that we are, again, it's going to be kind of similar to 90. I can't say much, but what I will do, guys, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link since Ray reminded me. So if you want to get on that wait list for the software that we are kind of working with, go ahead and click that link, get on that wait list. And again, if you are watching from Facebook, drop a comment. I think earlier I said drop 90. I don't know why you would do that because it's literally going to be like similar to 90, but not at all. It's going to be a whole lot better. But drop a comment if you want to get on that wait list. And same thing, if you are watching a recording, drop a comment, let us know you want to get on that wait list and we'll get you on there. But yeah, so I can't say a whole lot other than that it's going to be, I mean, there's a whole bunch of statistics you can see in there. I mean, you can essentially link up inflatable office, your Google ads, your Facebook ads. And there's one other thing that I think you can essentially integrate it with, and it'll pull all your data in. Like, it's crazy. I mean, and it's only getting more and more accurate. I can't say it enough. Lane, I saw you drop a comment 90. Go ahead and click that link right above it, and that's how you can go ahead and get on the wait list as well. We got about 10 more minutes though, guys. I just want to shoot a friendly reminder out there. 8 p.m. So in 10 minutes, Tariq's gonna hop on. He's gonna be talking to you guys about Facebook ads, be on for an hour. And we have a new episode on the podcast releasing tonight. Gotta be honest, I don't know if it's at the same time, 8 p.m. I would assume so. That's what we did last week. So keep your eye out for the new episode and stay tuned. At 8 p.m. Tariq will be put on for Facebook ads webinar. Nice little shameless plug. But with that being said, I'm curious, does anyone else do anything similar with their teams? Whether again, it's just you and your business partner, or whether it's you and your delivery crew, you and your office crew. Does anyone meet with their team on a regular basis and kind of discuss whether it be issues or just anything? I mean, do you guys have regular meetings with your teams?
My wife tells me how stupid I am every week. Does that count?
Okay. Well, do you guys, yeah, is that like a set time that y'all do that?
Just when she feels like it.
Okay, so she's on it. She's on it though. That's a good one, Lane.
Oh.
Anyone else other than Lane's wife?
Maybe next year I'll have a crew.
There you go. There you
I'd
go.
like to do that. Have some people.
Didn't you get an office manager? Or am I tripping?
No, I was going to, but that didn't work out. So I had some other technical difficulties I had to deal with instead of hiring
Fair
that
enough.
stuff.
Fair enough. All right. Anyone else? Is there anything maybe you do differently to make sure that you're on track to hit goals? I'm gonna start calling on y'all.
So you can stay on your goals. You know what else I think you should do for people? Let's say if you have a rental and if they rent like a bounce house and they can't rent it for that week, make sure you don't give them their money back. Try to keep it and get it for something for a different day, or like offer them a different service. That I just see like a lot of companies. I think, all right, we'll just refund you. I mean, it's easy to refund at the end of the day, but try to offer something. You know, just try to think outside the box. A different day, different time. You know, would you like it for next summer? Like whatever you can do to really keep the money, because this is my busy season. So you got to try to keep it as much as like possible. Like I had somebody that just, you know, oh, we couldn't fit the 20 by 20 tent in. Oh no, I have these 10 by 18s. They're pop-ups. They'll fit in your yard. Oh, you have those? Okay. Like there's people just don't know like what you don't always have. So you just got to make sure you like listen to people and try to figure out like what they really need and see if you can be able to accommodate them. Because if I didn't think about that before they were talking, they're like, hey, we can't do the 20 by 20 because we don't have room to put the pole tents. We don't have room to pull the strings. If I didn't be like, oh, I got these pop-ups that are, 10 by 18s that we could just put in the yard and I could put sandbags. We don't have to stake them. They could be just staked straight down or whatever, I would have never been able to save that cell. So I was able to save the cell of over $350 because of my 10 by 18s. And actually, I was able to rent them another 10 by 18, so 2 of them. So I was actually able to make 100 and whatever off of it. So you just have to kind of like see if you can accommodate whatever their needs are and see if you have something. Really just think to yourself, what could you do to accommodate that person that they're going to need before you,
Yeah, that's kind of what you were talking about last week too, right? Just kind of like like you said, like saving the sale if someone's looking to cancel or what
Yeah,
have you.
exactly. I mean, whatever you can do to save the sale, go ahead and play
Absolutely.
your game and see what you can make happen, and hopefully you can make something work. And you never know, maybe you can go to the, like Dick's Sporting Goods. They got 10 by 10 tents here, and like people will pay to have a 10 by 10, guys. I don't know if it's just it can't be just my area, but I was kind of surprised. I have a 10 by 10 pop up, and people are like, oh yeah, we'll rent it. I'm like, what? I'm thinking to myself, that's crazy, because I can go to like Dick's Sporting Goods and go buy one for like $100, and charge them $150 to $200 to set up the freaking thing. It's ridiculous, but people pay for it. There's people out there that just are clueless and have no idea, and would just rather pay someone else to take care of the, that's one less thing they have to do for their party. So, I mean, there's all
Absolutely.
kinds of different things you can like look around.
Hmm.
I've been to Dick's a couple times when at last minute crunch, or whatever, when I needed something, because they were going to pay me more than it was actually even at the store. It was, so I mean, just
Right.
try to save the sale, guys. If you guys can save the sales this summer, if somebody's going to cancel because of rain or whatever it might be. So
Hmm.
if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'm here to help you guys if you need anything, if I can help you, if I'm not busy. So
I actually do have a question. So when I mean, I know you say listen to the customers, which is you should, right? Like if you're trying to save that sale, obviously you want to accommodate to their needs. What would you say is like your most frequent, I guess, rental that you tend to, I guess, persuade them to stick with or to get instead of whatever they're canceling on?
well, the first off, the party is trying to figure out like what the party's for. If it's for adults, like I have an indoor portable bar, so we could do something like indoors. So I'm always just trying to like, oh, okay, well, I have like a portable bar. Do you need some stuff for inside? Do you need a photo booth? Do you need a DJ? If it's a kids party, oh, you're gonna go inside, we could do, such and such. So I mean, it's just kind of like trying to figure out exactly what the party is for, what age is for the party for, what you can be able to do to, jazz that party up and make it more fun. Oh, arcade games, we could do arcade games. I could do VR headsets for inside. I mean, there's just tons of different options that you can go about doing all kinds of different
Absolutely.
things. So I always have tons of different options. I've always learned because of the rain by me, to always have other options that you could do to be able to save that sell and be able to, keep that money.
Mhm.
Or maybe they just want to switch it to like a different, different day as well. So, which is, not bad. So, but that's the biggest
Absolutely.
thing.
Yeah,
Listening
go
to the
ahead.
customers. And I believe a lot of people don't always listen to the customers first, and try to just sit back for a minute and think about, what you can do or how you can accommodate that customer. And when you can
Mhm.
accommodate that customer, the end results will be a happy customer. And in the end results, more money in your pocket too. So all the way around, everybody's happy, and it all works out in the long run. So I say you should
That's fair.
work with that. So
I love it. I love it. Well, guys, we got about 4 minutes. I just want to, because I know we've had a couple people hop on. Tariq is hopping
Joe,
on at 8. What's up? You said
Joe,
what?
let me ask you a question. What day do you get with your like the workers? They get with your workers at Bounce Mouse?
Yeah, so we meet every Monday at 1
Okay.
p.m. So
With
kind of
the
gives us
with the
time.
drivers?
Not with the drivers, no. So Tariq actually will meet with them separately on weekends. So I don't really, I mean, I see them when they come in because I'm in the office Monday through Friday. So I don't really see my weekend guys as much, but we have a decent amount of guys that come in during the week to do random drop-offs, pickups, cleaning, things like that. So I don't really have any one-on-one meetings with them necessarily. That's kind of more Tariq. He'll meet with them on weekends before their, first set of deliveries, and he'll kind of go through our whole whiteboard. So they don't really use 90 necessarily with us. They're kind of separate. So we still include their issues in our weekly meeting. So we know what we can do on our end of things to either prevent that issue from happening again or, implement a new process, whatever. But we kind of have those meetings separately. But if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, Tariq still meets with that delivery crew pretty much every single weekend to do recaps.
Yeah, it's kind of what we do as well. We because I was with the KPIs to seeing what your labor is of what's going out to try to get those established and kind of going over what went last week and what's going on for this week like that. It's just early
Mhm.
trying to get that, especially with different schedules during the week. Trying to get that before you start,
Yep.
and trying to get them after the weekend as well too. So it's
Yep.
kind of tricky with that.
Exactly. Yeah, it can be kind of hard to be able to get all the guys together. I know something we did last year that I don't believe we're doing this year, and I wish we were. Is we I think Jamila called it a lunch and learn last year. So she was able to get pretty much our entire delivery crew, including myself. And this is when I was brand new. So I was nervous. I felt like I was stepping into like territory I didn't really know. But we had a whole meeting with all the delivery crew, me, Tariq, Jamila. They got us pizza. They got us pizza. And then we were able to just kind of like, do like a full recap, expectations, goals, common issues, things we need to avoid. So that's ideal to do at the beginning of the year. I don't know or remember the exact reason why we didn't do it this year, but I recommend that. Because I think we did it. It could have been a weekend that we did it. It could have been like maybe a later evening time during the week, something along those lines. It's hard. A lot of our guys are high school or in college and, are still getting out of school or have second jobs and things like that. So it can be a little tough to be able to get everyone together for sure. With that, y'all, I got about a minute before Tariq hops on if he's not here already. Does anyone have any last minute questions, concerns, perhaps? No.
Join
All right,
Event Hawk.
awesome. Oh, go ahead.
I said join Event Hawk.
What Ray said, join Event Hawk. I love it. Thanks, Ray. Quick, again, recap. If you were kind of interested in the software, I was talking about the 90 software. Again, it's an amazing thing. But if you want to get on that wait list to take a look at what we have in the works, that's going to be something similar, but in my opinion, 10 times better. Click that link that I dropped. I'll go ahead and drop it again for anyone who can't see it for some reason. And again, Tariq's pretty much going to be taking it away. He's going to be talking to y'all about Facebook ads.
Nice.
Yes.
Thank you.
Y'all are so welcome. I gotta wait for the man, the myth, the legend himself. Oh my goodness, there's so many of you guys. Hey, what's up? Happy Tuesday.
What do you think?
Oh my goodness, there's like 70 of you. Oh, are just spawning in. I love it.
Your team just updated my my Google ads.
Oh. What? You said our team just updated your Google Ads?
Yeah, the Google team. The
Oh.
team that handles the Google. But I don't do my own Google stuff. Yeah, you guys do it, so.
CRC. Tariq, are you here? No, he's not. Maybe I sing you guys a tune while we wait.
Oh man, he's late.
Nah, I'm just kidding, guys. I don't sing. That'd be embarrassing. That'd be kind of cool. I feel like I'd get clipped. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Tariq.
Hello. What's up, party rental people? Thank you, Zoelle.
What's up? You are welcome. Do you want me to stop the recording?
Yeah, we could stop that and I could start a new one.
Beautiful.